Many thanks for joining us on today's episode of E15, TVC's daily countdown to the general elections. Here, a group of journalists takes critical look at burning issues relating to March 28th and April 11th elections in the country. I am Ayodele Ozubakun. 17 days to the commencement of the general elections, many eligible voters stand the chance of being deprived their constitutional rights as electorate in the entire Owerri North local government area are yet to collect their permanent voter cards. 12 governors were in attendance on Tuesday in Lagos at the People's Democratic Party Governorship Forum to condemn the preparedness of the Independent National Electoral Commission for the forthcoming elections. The Senate earlier today confirmed the ministerial nomination of Musiliu Obanikoro amidst uproar and walkout from the All Progressive Congress senators led by the Senate Minority Leader George Akume. These are the issues we shall be discussing on today's episode of the program. Let's take a break. When we return, you'll meet my guests. Don't go away. Stay with us.
Join us for a one-on-one interview with seasoned journalist Babafemi Ojudu.
Let's talk about, how you got into journalism.
That's very interesting.
As in, I like to hear the story.
I applied for law. Then I came back one day. I told him, sir, I feel like joining the army. Again, it's army. He said, okay, fine. Whatever it is you want to do is your own business. I then went to obtain the form to NDA. So there was a column in that form that you have to complete. That has to be completed by the chairman of your local government council. So I gave it to my dad to take to the chairman for me. I didn't know that he had destroyed the form. So I was expecting him to give it back to me so I can. So I went to him one day and said, look, he said, you just want to go and die. I know you are too rebellious. So I've told the form, you are not going to the army.
On the Sunday interview, showing this Sunday, March 15, 2015, at 12:30 p.m., 5 p.m. and 9:30 p.m.
For 4 years in the Senate, let me first ask how you felt, when you defeated, the current governor, Ayodele Fayose, in clinching the senatorial seat.
We had a debate. Debate was organized by the Broadcasting Corporation of the state, television, radio, and all that. When I walked into the studio, I wore my traditional attire, my cap, and everything, and he walked in. A jeans and a t-shirt, and I saw something written on his chest. Politics is a serious business, and I could see that the spelling of politics was wrong. I knew I got this guy today. I want to call your attention to something today. Could you please, all of our people at home watching us, put your attention on the chest of my co-contest. I said, I'm disappointed that somebody who has been my governor, who wanted to go and represent us in the Senate, could wear this to the studio. The man could not even spell politics. I think it's a shame. And that what will I tell my 10-year-old daughter when I get home that my former governor, who wants to go and represent in the Senate, could not spell politics? The man then had his hand on his chest and ran out of the studio.
Watch the exclusive interview on TVC News Nigeria on Concert Channel 190.
If you are just joining us, this is our countdown to the 2015 general elections, and we are counting down 17 days to March 28 presidential and national assembly election, and April 11th for the governorship and the State House of Assembly election. I have Obadoye, the big issue man,
in the studio. Big issue. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, viewers. It's so nice to be on the show again.
I'm making his debut. Agbajalingo, an online publisher.
Thank you very much, US. So nice to be here again after a long while.
All right, and the South man, Babajide Kolade Otitoju.
Yes.
I must commend you decided to go to the South
it's
today.
It's better I wear this now.
Okay.
So that in case it goes out of fashion after March 28th.
That's the whole idea.
I will have thoroughly enjoyed my time before it goes out of fashion.
We are starting. Let me start with Oba. Our updates on PVC. Owerri North LG are yet to collect PVC. The entire Owerri in Imo State, Owerri North, the entire local government.
If the election, according to original plans, if INEC had conducted the election on February 14, I wonder what people in that particular local government will be saying or will be feeling right now. I think we have said it times without number on this program, that this electoral commission is not ready for this election. They are not prepared for this election. I've had several discussions with my boss, and on several occasions he has been drawing attention to factors that show that indeed INEC is not prepared for this election. Imagine a whole local government, they have not even seen, they don't even have an idea of what a PVC looks like. And we are talking about an election that is how many days away from here? An entire local government. So what happens to their PVC? Does it mean that nobody registered in that community? Or does it mean that, I really don't know, we are not prepared for this election?
Okay, quickly, let's go up to Owerri now when we join our correspondent Saturday and we get this story on the situation in Owerri North local government.
Oguta local government area of Imo State. It is in the hall of this local government that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, held a meeting with stakeholders from the area. The aim is to prepare them for the 2015 general elections. The Imo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Gabriel Ada, who set the ball rolling, commended the people for collecting their permanent voter cards with close to 90% collection rate.
We have distributed close to 90%, or about 90%, that people have collected almost all the permanent voters card, which is good. There are some local government areas that have not been able to collect up to 90%. So I'd like to congratulate you on that.
The commission also used the opportunity to showcase the use of the card reader.
The issue is that we want to use card readers to really authenticate or verify the people that are registered. Because the card readers will help us really know that you are the rightful owner of that permanent voter's card.
If you consider the time you spend manually to flip through papers trying to verify a voter, you will see that using the card reader, you will eliminate one fraud in an election, two, it will be faster.
On the issue of Owerri North local government area that has not received any PVC since the exercise commenced, the REC said INEC will give the people from the area a special treatment.
Even if they don't receive them within that period, Owerri North is going to be isolated and treated as a special case. Because for them, once we receive their PVCs, we are going to distribute to them.
Okay, sir.
It does not really matter whether it is within the period or not.
It would be recalled that the people of Oguta have no representation in the State House of Assembly since 2011. This followed the volatile nature of the area and its people when it comes to election matters. It was this that made the Imo State INEC REC to visit the people to encourage them not to allow what happened in the 2011 elections to repeat itself in 2015.
Back, that's the situation in Imo State. A big irony, while they are recording, while they claim to have recorded 90% of the collection of the permanent voter card, but in Owerri North local government, not a single person have seen what a PVC looks like. Jide?
Yes, it still goes back to what we've been saying. The INEC was not prepared for this election. There's no reason for Nigerians to be unnecessarily emotional about this, because it's the reality. The postponement has afforded us now opportunity to see INEC put its acts together, work on the lapses, that are there. So I keep asking myself, what would have happened if the elections are taking place on February 14? If the election are taking place on February 14, about 23 million Nigerians will have been disenfranchised. Of course, we hear the funny story that, there is no election that you find everybody participating in. Of course, that's not what we want to hear. Give the people the opportunity to take part in an election. It's their call. If they choose not to come out on election day, that is their business. But INEC has a responsibility to ensure that every Nigerian of voting age who wants to, who deserves a PVC should get it. But in a situation where a whole local government, you do not supply a whole local government PVC, and that's one of the biggest local governments in Imo State. You do not give them PVCs. Then that means you do not care whether those people vote or not. That's what it means. And they are supposed to vote. They are going to be other elections. They are going to be involved in even in electing their representatives in the National Assembly as well. So how do those people who belong to this constituency, how do they get the votes that they require? It can actually even give undue advantage to a particular, for example, you are talking about maybe the House of Reps candidate. You know, they always merge, in some cases, 3 local governments together. If a particular candidate comes from one local government out of 3 that ought to be part of it, and Owerri is not going to be involved in the voting, definitely it will give an advantage to a candidate. If Owerri North has a candidate,
yes,
you know, so somebody from Owerri North, definitely, if his own people can't take part in the election, it will give an advantage to the opponent. That is the thing. These are things that INEC naturally should do, but like most institutions in Nigeria, INEC is not an institution that you can speak glowingly about. What we want are strong institutions, not just strong individuals. We all know that Jega is a man of unimpeachable character. He's a very principled man, a brilliant academic. But it's not enough to just have that institution. Yes, the institution is what matters, because the institution will outlast him. Yes. In a few months, he will be gone. The institution that he builds, the legacies that he leaves behind, we will see those legacies in the institutions. So if we have an INEC that is grossly incompetent, that cannot provide PVCs for an election that he had 4 years to prepare for, definitely it doesn't say so much about the good things that we expect Jega to have made possible in INEC.
Agba, you operate from the south-south flank. You practice your journalism in Cross River State. The situation, what are you facing in Cross River State as regards this collection of PVC?
Well, the situation is the same thing you find in other parts of the country. It's not different. As at the last time, the REC said that 110,000 PVCs are still left uncollected in Cross River State. That's a little over a week ago. So I want to also believe that they are making progress in Cross River State. And I should also add that, like my colleagues have said, there is a need. INEC has exhausted their goodwill. They had so much of it, just like President Goodluck. They had so much of it when Jega came on board, and down the line, they have exhausted it. And there's a need for Nigerians to knock them really hard to begin to perform. Because even in cases where they conduct elections in one state, we still find a lot of excuses, like what happened in Anambra, here and there, logistics. In Edo State, electoral materials were not able to get to local governments that are closer to town than even the ones that are farther from town. Those little things are things that we expect that INEC should have outgrown by now. I also join my colleagues here to accept that I may have also joined in a haste to criticize INEC for postponing this election, because every day I see that indeed we were wrong. There was a need for the election to be postponed. Because with what we are seeing now, like somebody's testing card readers a month after elections were supposed to have held, and all of that are clearly
jumped into that exercise
pointing to the fact that they are not ready. But if you look at the Owerri West, I would not also agree that up till now they are not ready. I want to see that they are making efforts. They have also extended the period by additional 2 weeks. Even if they have to give these cards until the eve of the election, all of that should be considered as efforts at getting us a free and fair election. And Owerri is not Imo State in particular is not a stranger to isolating elections like the REC suggested. That even if they are not able to get their cards, that they will isolate Owerri North and consider them as a special case. You remember the last election? INEC had to bring in Mike Igini from Cross River, bring in RECs from different states to come and conclude elections that were postponed in 6 local governments in that same state. Even if that will be the kind of stopgap expediency that will be employed to see that we achieve that, that should be done. But I think even the PDP governor said it yesterday in Neko Hotel that the elections should not be postponed any further. And I think I will adopt that position. At this point, we should knock INEC harder to make sure that an appreciable number of people are given their cards to vote. Because whether we like that phrase or not, ultimately it is not everybody that will participate.
But we promised on this program to be on the case of Ogun State, as Ogun State has recorded the lowest collection rate distribution of the permanent voter card. They are telling us, the REC is telling, INEC is telling us now that Ogun received 170,000 PVC yesterday. Of what significance is this to the 1.8 million registered voters we have in Ogun State?
It's just for
170,000.
I think what the REC in that state said is just to cover up for the mistakes of INEC or the failure of INEC in that state. We know that Ogun State is very close to Lagos, so automatically most people that even work in Lagos, they live in Ogun State. Like around, if you look at Iju, Akute side, if you go towards E4, Songo, you go towards Mowe, Ibafo, the people that live in this area, they work in Lagos. These are very densely populated areas. And now here you are
170,000.
Like Jide said, there shouldn't be any excuse for, okay, you are saying, fine, it's not everybody that will participate in an election. It shouldn't be it should not be coming from INEC. Yeah. It should be the prerogative of the people to decide, I want to participate or we don't want to participate. Give people in the first instance, why is it difficult to even produce the PVC? You have gotten the information, you have all the biometrics information. It's just to transform this thing into plastic card. And your plastic card, you need machine, input the information there. Print.
They have to do it abroad.
Oh God, like I don't know. In 2015, in 2015, like ATM. In banks now, you get your ATM at the snap of your finger. So why is it difficult for us to? I don't know. We need strong institutions. Really, it's so pathetic that we are in this mess in 2015.
Jide, of what value is this 170,000 PVC out of 1.8 million expected?
Okay. When the REC had a press conference last week, he said that they were expecting 420,000 PVCs to be brought in from Abuja. 420,000 PVCs meant for Ogun State were still yet to be brought to Ogun State from the INEC headquarters, weeks after an election ought to have taken place. So now, out of that 420,000, they've released this miserly figure of 170,000. This is too little for me to be impressed. I live in Ogun State, and the area where I live is the worst affected. And I feel the anguish.
One of these satellite towns.
Yes, okay. I live in Akute. I feel the anguish.
There are a lot of complaints from Akute.
I feel the anguish and the pains of these people. You know? So naturally, you can expect that the people will be displeased. They will be displeased. And the implication of this is, in future, when you call them out for things like this, you are going to have problems with social mobilization. Of course, we always have problems with social mobilization in Nigeria, but things like this will only make it to get worse. Because you have to encourage the people. If people go out every day 6 a.m. to go and line up, in the sun they are there. You know, when it's raining, they are there. And they go back home disappointed just because of they want to pick up a PVC. At the end of the day, they will be asking themselves that, look, am I even going to be paid for this? And many employers of labor are giving their staff time to go and chase these PVCs. And they still come back disappointed. My younger sister was telling me about how INEC staff were extremely rude to her.
They did that to me and my wife.
Extremely rude to her when she wanted to pick up. And after that, she just told herself, forget it. He just told them, forget it. A lot of people in Ogun State have resigned to fate. That, look, these elections, we won't be part of these elections because of this problem.